We're the gang. We're the gang. No, just the gang. I'm from Winter Hill, so we'll spin up on the Winter Hill.
Yeah, but I'm used to seeing you next door.
Next door.
This is Greece's famous.
Just put on the top of this. I reserved for you.
Well, hello, everybody. It's so great to see you guys here today. And we were saying that we had a bunch of acts that are here this season booked for 2019 and 2020, and that season wasn't able to happen. So now that great season is happening now, and we're so thrilled about it. We got our show last month with John White. It was great. It was so nice to see people in the room. Really, really, really great. So thank you all so much for coming. If you've never been to a Second Friday concert, we have been here since 1985. We're doing live music for charity. We're apparently Boston area's like longest running all for charity concert series. And we give money to charities and performers. And this year we're donating most of the money to our performers because they really, really need it at this point. After the pandemic and during the pandemic and all that, they've been hit really hard. So the arts matter to us especially. It's a business. Next month, our annual Christmas show is happening. Johnny Kringle and the Wonderland Band will have flying reindeer and presents and lights, and it's all those songs that you hear when you go to the supermarket every day these days. Little Mariah Carey, Carrie Underwood, and Jingle Bell. All those songs live for you on the stage, and all the money for that goes to a toy drive at Children's Hospital. We literally drive the money over it. We may be able to donate toys this year. We're not sure. We'll have more word on that. But typically we collect toys for it. And our drummer and his wife drive all the toys over to Children's Hospital so that the family staying there, can give toys to their children who are staying in the hospital. In January, Peter Mulvey is coming. And if you have never seen Peter, please come and see him because he's amazing. And I'm hoping that Antje is in the wings over there and is ready to, she is. She's going to enter from behind the curtain in a second. I don't have that much to say because, you guys all know who she is. And I'm just thrilled that I finally got to meet her today because we have like all these old friends together and it's just, she's the loveliest person. I can't wait to hear her. Antje,
Thank you, John. I wasn't sure where I was supposed to come in from. So, oh my God, it's happening. This is so nice. John and I had talked about this show for years. We booked this before the pandemic, and then we rebooked it a number of times. And it kept having to get moved out, and then it just became an act of faith. It started to feel like really abstract, like it will actually never happen. So I'm just incredibly happy to be here right now. Let's see, I'll start with a song that I wrote, but then forgot, which happens to me a lot. And I just relearned it downstairs, and so I have to do it first, so I don't already forget it. Called Lottery Ticket, and I wrote this for a podcast actually. It was a podcast that put together songwriters and authors, and my song is a response song to a story. I think the podcast is called Songwriter, and you can kind of hear the full story that this is called Lottery Ticket. I'll have less monitor actually, Jeff. I'm realizing. You reached the waypoint, the battlefield refinery, leaving your body now. Just the drum of your heart, you can hum as you restart the car. Past the old mill, everything will go still. Throw the drill and you crawl past the silos and you sail them all. The ghost of old Flanagan's bar. Scratched open and hewed over like your handlebar, like stars like the ice on a reservoir. make your last stop at Abel's corner shop. On your way into town, get a lottery ticket, a pair of new wings, and a new suit of arms. That'll be everything. When you get to the house, he lets you in. Never doubt, house always wins. You can send me a postcard. He lives necessary, the magician, his jeans on sheets clothing. He's the man who will crush all that you've built. He's the master electrician. You will go missing, you will get blurred in the pixels of twisting birds. Maybe it was crazy and was outrageous to think you could be more than this place of your birth. On its face, it's absurd to make a hole where nothing grows and keep watering the astroturf, but it's written in blood. It's what a dollar does. Do it for duty. Sure isn't love. Give you lottery ticket, a pair of new wings, just a new suit of arms. That would be everything. When you get to the house, he lets you in. Never doubt, house always wins. You can send me a postcard. Send me a postcard. That's a newer song. It's actually going to be on my upcoming album. But this next song is super old. I wrote this, oh my God, 22 years ago. I can't even believe it. I wrote this in the year 2000. And you'll know it's an old song because even some of the technologies mentioned in the song don't exist anymore. There's a reference to a payphone that kind of dates the song. But it's based on a true story or a true event in my life. So in the year 2000, I had just graduated from college, and I didn't want to go right into the working world. I wanted to first have some adventures, and so my friend Sven and I, we bought an old car in Newark, Delaware, for $700, and we drove that little old Chevy Cavalier all the way across the country and back on a 3-month road trip. And it almost made it back. It made it from Delaware to the West Coast and almost back. And the people who sold us the car later expressed great surprise that the car made it that far, because it was a $700 car. But unfortunately, it didn't make it all the way back to Delaware, so we ended up, after a 3-month long road trip, breaking down in the town of Northampton. And and we were out of money at that point, so we had no way to get home from Northampton to Delaware, or we had very little money left. But at that point, we found a mechanic who took pity on us, and he took that car, the total of one, and he sold us a $200 car. And that car really didn't run very much, but once in a while we could get it to come back to life if he was really patient about turning the ignition. And then he would go a few miles down the road and break down again. So that car got us home, and it took 10 hours, actually I think a 4-hour drive. And that's basically the whole story, but I will tell it to you now in song. We bid our friends goodbye, promised we would ride up, headed north of 95. To the great unknown, turned up our stereo, I felt so reckless and alive. Didn't know who we would be, didn't know where we would end up. old shovel, one that will get stolen. Town in Idaho, it's a long way. To Michigan and back, and it's a long way. It's a long way, hey, hey. Clouds upon our backs, and it's a long, 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 long way. I have never seen reflections of the cleanest blue as a Minnesota lakes. Those were the longest nights of wood smoke and northern lights. I talked until the morning came. Light of glowing embers, sweet as I remember, among the rustling of the trees. Legend of the harvest moon, sweet ballad of the moon. I felt as ancient as I was meant to be. It's a long way to Michigan and back, and it's a long way. It's a long way, clouds upon our backs, and it's a long, 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 long way. Called you from a maple, windy cold Missoula, and then from Midland in the rain. No place is proud and sad, South Dakota leather touched me more than I could explain. The dirt poor reservation, the Oglala nation, tries to hang on to its ways. Feather-wet coyote pipe, a six-pack of Miller Lite sits on the dashboard of a beat-up Chevrolet. It's a long way to Washington and back, and it's a long way. It's a long way, clouds upon our backs, and it's a long, 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 long way. Out in California, we touched the other ocean. I still have that jar of sand. The Arizona desert, the sky goes on forever. You never see nothing as grand. North Montana was cold. She keeps her secrets frozen under glaciers way up north. People have got lost up there, home of the grizzly bear, and you can ask the mountain. The mountain doesn't care. It's a long way to Delaware and back, and it's a long way. It's a long way, clouds upon our backs, and it's a long, 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 long way. Oh, it's a long way, worn out heels of Kerouac. It's a long, 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 long way. One major thing that changed for me during the pandemic is now my set list is on the floor, because I'm turning 48 in a few days, and this during the pandemic this just happened to be those 2 years when my eyesight suddenly really just didn't want to do the close-up thing anymore. And I usually would write my set list right here, but that's too close now. And I don't want to be putting my reading glasses this on and off during my set. So now the set is on the floor, which seems to be working okay. Like this is a new thing for me. Because I ended up just writing it larger and larger on the guitar, but then a lot of things didn't fit. So in the end, I could only have like 2 songs written on there, and that would be a really short set. Yeah, this will work. So if I'm looking at the floor a lot, it's just, that's all. So I think I'll try to play you my newest song, actually. So a couple of months ago, I was in North Carolina on tour, and I had a little time to kill before my show, so I went for a walk. I like walking, and I walked through a graveyard. And I saw a gravestone in that graveyard that said Dylan Thomas. And I thought, well, what are the chances that the famous poet Dylan Thomas is buried in a suburban graveyard in North Carolina? Well, probably 0. But I decided I would check out that grave anyway, and it was Dylan Thomas Norris, and he lived from 1996 to 1998, so he only got to be 2 years old. And that really got to me, because I couldn't stop thinking about him and all the things that he never got to do. So this song is about gratitude for just being alive, essentially. And it also is a call to let go of fear. It's called Dylan Thomas Song. Well, I never knew your story, but I stand before your grave. I have been stumbling, bewildered in the days. Pages of my youth that I so carelessly closed, held them harder days till it got away. There's a page for every day containing watermelons, and a page for dressing up and jumping off the roof. Pull them all off the float in shapes of little paper boats, and I let them go, and I will send them off to you. My recurring dream, I have been a play, but I don't seem to know my lines, and I can never find the script. When my curtain call comes, I want to know why the summoned found a way to just let go of all that shit. Ooh, ooh. I never knew your story, but I stand before your grave. It's abandoned, like the halls you never water. I was gawky, I was scared, a little awkward, but I was there, and I'll be damned if I let go of that thought. Never did lose money on a tour of Illinois. You'd have been grateful for the traffic and the rain. You never got to get your heart crushed in a blender by a boy when you got home again, so who am I to blame? My recurring dream, I have a play, but I don't seem to know my lines, and I can never find a script. When my curtain call comes, I want to know why was someone who found a way to just let go of all that shit. Ooh, ooh. I suppose your parents were poets, since they named you Dylan Thomas, but you never got to rage against the dying will of the light. So I shall ride with your ghost and all those poets who died from. No, I don't know unlucky one. I know now what I owe, and I shall speak it in your name. It's to drink freely from that well, and not dwell one more day in the wall of shame. And the dangers of my youth that will no longer breathe, send them off to you, my friend, with watermelon seeds. And my recurring dream, I may play, but I don't seem to know my lines, so I'll just make them up. When my curtain call comes, you best believe I was someone who found a way to let in all of that love. My recurring dream, I may play, but I don't seem to know my lines, so I'll just make them up. When my curtain call comes, you best believe I was someone who found a way to let in all of that love. Way to let in all of that love, 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 all of that love. So I'm working on an album right now. now. It's almost finished actually, and I'm doing a lot of new songs from that album. So that song will be on there, and this next song will be on there as well. And I think a lot of the songs on this album are about middle age and about being, a little stronger in general and going your own way instead of the way that you think other people want you to go. So this song is very much about that. It's called Open Waters. And it goes out to all those people who had to forge a somewhat unknown path. I feel like in life, there are those of us who just are born and they fit. They fit into the mainstream road. And then there's others who were born and that road just doesn't fit, so they kind of have to carve their own little side paths in order to stay authentic, which is not that easy to do. It can be more exhausting, I think. So this song is to give all of those people courage who are before their time, after their time, besides their time, just having to do their own thing.
Old soul, keep rocking that boat. Don't you listen to a word that they say. 'Cause it's an old gold and they would have you wither. 'Cause misery loves company. They would hang their moons inside your rooms where they made the mistakes of their fathers. You are no fool and I'll wait for you. I'll be waiting in open water. Little heartbeat, keep kicking your feet. Don't you let them get into your head. 'Cause you were all breeze and they would shut the windows all in the name of safety. 'Cause they have volunteered to be chained by fear. But from one pioneer to another, it's not that we aren't scared, but I'll meet you there, out in the open water. Carry your boat to the water, take it out to the sea. Pay no heed to those who don't matter, let their chatter. They can just talk and write you off as a curiosity. Let them talk, let them chatter. The wild thing, you feel every sting, every storm front and every sunrise. That's the price and it's a strong wind. Can make you spin, that's the flip side, letting the light in. You are fierce and brave, you know the way, and from one pioneer to another. It's not that we are scared, but I'll meet you there, out in the open water. Carry your boat to the water, take it out to the sea. Pay no heed to those who don't matter, let their chatter be seen. They can just talk and write you off as a curiosity. Let them talk, let them chatter. On the rhythm of measure and the pulse of the sea, there's a cavalry of stars to keep you company. So carry your rope to the water, out to where you can breathe. Pay no heed to those who don't matter, you got all that you need. They can just talk and write you off as a curiosity. You'll always know the rhythm of the sea.
So my new album is going to be called New Wild West, and this next song is called New Wild West. And so this next song was inspired a little bit by my dad because I had a conversation with him a couple summers ago, and he's older obviously than I am. That's obvious, but he's an older man, and he is maybe not super fond of change in general. And he was lamenting about all the things that are changing in Germany. So he lives in Germany, but he was lamenting about some of the, I don't know, just things not being the same. And so he said, it used to be so great because we had this genre, the Polish joke, and it was really funny and it was super fun. And he was just like reminiscing about Polish jokes. With great enthusiasm. And he said, oh, but now you can't tell them anymore. You can't tell those kind of jokes anymore. And he was like kind of annoyed. So I said to him like, well, sure, that you thought those jokes were really fun and funny, but did you ever sort of think that maybe they weren't like not as funny for the Polish people? And my dad, with almost an innocence and earnestness, he just said, oh no, they were fun for everybody. And I think he really believes that, and I think he just has a bit of a blind spot as to like why that needs to change. But I also really relate to him because I find like the world is moving really fast right now. And so this is a song that's, it's supposed to kind of bring along those people that are resistant to change, because we need them on board, and they're not always bad people. Like, I don't think my dad is a bad person, he just has a little, blind spot. So this song seeks to be empathetic to people who are slow on the uptake. At the same time, it is really urging us to make that change. It's called New Wild West.
Hey Alexander, have a look on your face like a cowboy without a steam. Hey Alexander, she gets stuck into place like a sailboat without a breeze. Ooh, Alexander, the name of the game has been changed and you don't know why. Scratch the flags you hoisted into infallible heights. You were the good guys. You feel just like a relic from a time that will never come back. Now valor's on sale, boys can't be girls. There are no damsels in distress. Welcome to your new wild west. Change, Alexander, will sprout from below with the tap of a patient one. One day, Alexander, you step out for a smoke, and the world that you knew is gone. Ooh, Alexander, you commanded the stage in the age of the Marble Roman. Back when the world contorted itself as your prize, you were the good guy. You feel just like a relic from a time that will never come back, like a furloughed colonel with nothing to command. In that room with the elephant before you were irrelevant on your guaranteed square and beam of musical chairs. You were never unkind, you were just willfully wind up, and you were blessed. Welcome to your new wild west. You feel just like a rebel from a time that will never come back, like a furloughed
kind of wanted to stretch my own self in terms of what I'm comfortable with regarding the New Wild West kind of scenario. So I ended up having an AI design my album cover. And it's beautiful, and I'm very disturbed by it. So I'm also a visual artist, and I'm just really kind of like upset about the fact that a computer can be something so beautiful and not even know what beauty is. Screw you, computer. But I thought it was sort of in line and fitting with the album and the kind of the idea that you have to go out of your comfort zone because life marches on. So yeah, I'm excited to share it with you. Let me do an older song now. So this is called Vertigo, and it's about going out of your comfort zone. We're on a highway. I'm climbing up. I feel the danger as I steal a kiss from your mouth. I will try to hold steady. Wanna make you believe that the height of this tightrope is just second nature to me. I will break all my bones, 'cause I lied about the burden I have never been of this high. There'll be no safety net when I fall right out of the sky. There will be no ambulance wait, and I have no wings to fly. We will meet on the borders, barefoot and blessed, in colorful graveyards with flower bouquets for the dead. I won't ask you to promise that I will not come to harm. When the wind tugs my courage, will you be my brother in arms? I will break all my bones, 'cause I lied about the vertigo. I have never been this high. There'll be no safety net when I fall right out of the sky. There will be no ambulance wait, and I have no wings to fly. I will break all my bones, 'cause I lied about the vertigo. I have never been of this high. There'll be no safety net when I fall right out of the sky. There will be no ambulance waiting, and I have no wings to fly. I swear I'm still getting used to applause after I play songs. Because during the pandemic, I did only online shows, and it's like so silent when you finish the song. There's a comments on the screen, so you can see everybody's inside thoughts. But you have to like read them while you're also playing, and that like broke my brain so so this is really nice. It's so funny because my whole performance career, I've suffered from a certain amount of stage fright. Like I do get nervous being in front of people, but they say like if you're nervous, you're supposed to just like pretend like people aren't there. And so I would always just, my whole performance career, I would just pretend I'm like by myself in my bedroom to sort of like psych myself out and be like, it's okay, there's not like a lot of people out there. But then it switched. I ended up being alone in my bedroom giving concerts. And then I was doing it in reverse, and I was like imagining there's people. So one way or another, I wasn't really like in the right place. And so I promise I vow to now only be in the moment and just deal. Well, the last song just made me think how this next song is almost a response to the last song, because the last song is very fearful about falling out of the sky. Whereas this next one is newer, and there's a little bit more assurance in this song. But it was based on a lot of my songs lately have been about getting older. And last summer I was taking an airplane from Logan Airport, and it was a thunderstorm, a really bad thunderstorm. There's lots of lightning, lots of clouds, and no visibility and rain and thunder. It's crazy. So I thought for sure there's no way my flight's gonna take off in this. This is crazy weather. But then it was like on time, and I was like, oh, okay. And I got on my airplane, and we took off from Logan, and it was really scary because the airplane was just like going up and down, and the lightning was just like illuminating the wings over and over, and there was no visibility, and I was so scared. How are we going to die? And then moments later, though, we cleared the clouds, and then you can look down on a lightning storm from above, which is really beautiful because the clouds like light up, sort of like little fairies. They're just dancing. And the other thing is when you have that new vantage point, you can actually see that the thunderstorm the lightning is very localized. It doesn't just jump around, like it's in a certain spot. So I was like, oh, like the pilot knew that. We weren't really in danger. But that whole experience from going from like fear to utter wonderment and joy. Like when I was above it, I was just loving it. And going from like fear to joy within the same kind of system made me think about perspective and how as we get older we get a little bit better at perspective. We don't get tossed around quite so much by the thunderstorms of life. So this song's called Evolution. It's about getting ourselves above the clouds as human beings. Once we were stuck below the clouds, when we were very small, and it was lightning raining down, and we were frightened of it all, until we climbed above the thunder, beyond the wrath of the gods. And we took a flame, and the silver light was shining right there in our palms. It was nothing if not strange to be sitting on a plane and to marvel at how far we came since the early dark days, that prehistoric dawn. Back when the phases of the moon were still just phrases without tunes. But ooh, look at us now. And ooh, yeah, we had doubts. And ooh, I see you now. And holy cow, look at us now. I forgot words.
Take the pace of a snail, divide that fight through the faintest rate of progress. Every yawn looks the same. Our toolkit was so basic, and our mission was so near. And it blows my mind that we persevere through flooding and rains, through every muddy ice age we soldiered on. We kept the faith through the long and dark days of that prehistoric slug. But ooh, look at us now. And ooh, yeah, we have doubts. And ooh, I see you now. Holy cow, look at us now. Look at us now. The shimmer of the stars is just a tribute to our sky. So look at us now. Ooh, yeah, we had doubts. And ooh, I see you now. Holy cow. Holy cow. Look at us now. Look at us now. Look at us now.
So yeah, a few songs came out of the pandemic for me. This next one is a legitimate pandemic romance song. There aren't really that many of those. It's kind of a niche genre. But it happened to me. I had a pandemic romance. And yeah, so when the pandemic hit in 2020, I was single. And I was thinking, oh boy, like the news came that we had to stay in our houses and not get close to anybody. And I was thinking, oh no, this is gonna be a really lonely time for me. Should have checked out this thing. So I was by myself in my apartment and I was browsing the internet as we all did, I suppose. And I got a message on Instagram and it was from a guy from Vermont, and I didn't know him, but he wrote me a little message on Instagram. He said something about like a song he likes and whether I might like it as well. So I checked out his Instagram page, and there were like 3 photos of him, and he looked cute. And the other photos that he had up there were like nice. There was like fresh baked bread and pumpkins and dogs, and like it checked out. And mostly he was from Vermont, so like everyone who's from Vermont is just like good. So I wasn't, I didn't, yeah, I felt like I could trust him. So we wrote back and forth a little bit, and then, I don't know, there was not much to do too, so just like time went on and on. So we ended up talking on the phone. We're like, let's just talk on the phone. So we ended up talking on the phone, and it was really nice, and I really liked his voiceover. I liked the sound of his voice, and so I think I ended up just projecting kind of filling in the rest. I had 3 photos of him, and the sound of his voice was amazing, and he had nice things to say. So we talked on the phone though for 6 weeks because it was pandemic time and you really couldn't date during that time. I mean, people tried it. They tried to go on dates, but it was like you have to like stay like 10 feet apart, wear a mask, and like scream at each other. Like it was not very romantic. So instead, me and this guy talked on the phone, and we got to know each other really well, even without ever laying eyes on each other. So I don't know, that kind of way of dating, like that never happens anymore, but it felt like an old school way of getting to know each other. So by the time we met, we knew each other very well. And we decided about 6 weeks and that it would be okay to meet if we both quarantined for 2 weeks straight. So we bought like our groceries at the store and then didn't leave the house for 2 weeks, and then we saw each other. So it did work out, and I don't know, the chances were so slim that we would actually hit it off, but we did end up hitting it off in person as well. But then we dated for about a year, and eventually it became clear that we were not actually compatible. But this love song is one that I wrote for him before having ever met him in real life. So I went like a little overboard. I like declared my undying love for him right away without ever having met him. Because I don't know, that's what songwriters do. They excel at projection. So this is called Traces.
I leave you traces, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Coming in stages, 1, 2, 3. Closer by degree. In the dim in between, remember and dream. So far beyond the contour, so much closer than it seems. Like a string to cut, I think you might have just the hands to hold me. Your voice on the wire like an unseen fire, growls and unfolds me. The hum of electricity coming through the study. Could be love. The riots of uncertainty go quiet. Whenever you are on the line, we are made of time, and I could linger. Stay until the end, follow your fingers to where the pavement ends. When I trace your silhouette, I have never traced. In a world torn off its axis, you spin me into place. While the riots of uncertainty go quiet. Whenever you are on the line, we are made of time. Still meshed up from beach to beach. There were things I loved at each. There were things I took with me. There were some I had to leave. And my ship against the storms had been lost. I nearly drowned. Some days I ran into regret. With joy and pain out on the temple. I've seen things I've never seen. Shells I gather in my beliefs. I bathe in the Amazon rain. Many things I can't explain. Like how we followed the same star when we were anchoring in harbors. Many ports I sat and dined. Revelry and wine. All those words they were in my mind. Many songs I learned and sung. I love the landscape, but nobody my tongue. I leave you traces, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Coming in stages, 1, 2, 3. Closer by degree. In the dim in between, remember and dream. So far beyond the contour, so much closer than it seems.
Jeff, can I get a tiny bit more vocal as my monitor got full? So this next song is one that I wrote on commission, which is not usually how I write. I typically write just whatever comes to my mind. But I was commissioned by the Goethe Institute of Boston, German Cultural Institute, to write their 2021 Earth Day song. And I was really honored that they asked me, and I wanted to write a really great Earth Day song. I wanted to do them proud. So instead of just sitting down and write it, I thought it would be a better song if I do a lot of research first. So I researched all the things about the environment, including all the details about the plastics in the ocean, the devastation of habitat, and climate change, and
I watched a lot of David Attenborough documentaries. And I got deeper and deeper into it, and the more research I did, the more I was feeling like bad. And to be honest, I was feeling a little bit like, I don't know, like, maybe we can still turn this ship around, but like, maybe it's too late. And then I was thinking, like, that's not a good birthday song. You're gonna want a slightly more positive message than that. So I don't know, I kind of boxed myself into a corner because I got so depressed by the state of things that I didn't think I could be creative, because when you're depressed, you can't really be creative. But luckily, I was sitting by a window when I was struggling with that writer's block, and I live in Lincoln, Massachusetts, which is not far from here, actually. And my apartment borders some woods, and we have coyotes and fox and owls and all kinds of really cool wildlife. And it's right outside my window. And at that moment, a coyote howled, like so wild. And it made me think there's like crazy wildness right outside my door, essentially, but I'm so disconnected from it. Like, I'm in my climate-controlled apartment with the light and the air conditioning and the heat. I just feel like so detached from the natural world anymore. I was thinking, and I was like, oh yeah, that's it, I'll write about that. So I wrote a song to the coyote about how we have become detached from the natural world. And that became my birthday song. It's not very uplifting either, but it's like better than what I was going to write. So. Hey coyote, are you out there? Can you lead me to my ancient self? Hey glitter on the water, I think I need help. 'Cause I keep dry and I keep warm. All this shelter from the storm. I can turn summer into winter, night into day with a switch. We can turn less into more, but we don't anymore understand which is which. Hey, perfection on the dewdrop, can you lead me to my healing spot? I thought I was independent, but I guess I forgot. And I got Milky Ways and one more on my own. I got riverbeds in my bones. And I know this, part of this, part of all this. Show me the road, less travel. Let's follow it back to the source. Before the balance unraveled, before we lost our course, I once upon a time, caught Kosmos, unter der Anwesenheit seiner Zerbrechung von Ersetzlichkeit. Hey coyote, are you out there? Have we come to a dividing line? Hey, falling on a bee's wing, do we still have the time to save your habitat with habits that inhabit that? We have the facts with habits that stop the ransack can grow less, so you grow back. Show me the road, less travel, let's follow it back to the source. Before the balance unraveled, before we lost our course, once upon a time, ohne Kosmos, unter der Anwesenheit seiner Zerbrechung und Ersetzlichkeit. Und Ersetzlichkeit. Hey coyote, are you out there? Can you lead me to my ancient self? Hey, glitter on the water, I think I need help.
if you speak German, you understood everything. I had to put a little German in there for your taste to speak. So this next song is about gratitude, and most of my songs are not about gratitude because I tend to write songs when I'm feeling like down or I have something to work out. And I wanted to remedy that, so I wrote this song about things just being good. And yeah, talk about like things that you can take for granted, and you only notice them when you take it away. So this song seeks to kind of take stock. It's called Sweet Spot. Once you stood below a mountain, now you find yourselves a crowd. Is this the sweet spot of your life? This new view compares to nothing on the hardships of your climb. Is this the sweet spot of your life? It would seem the ice is melting. It seems you've come in from the cold. It's the sweet spot of your life. And all your streams, they are now fuller, but the riverbeds can hold. Yeah, this is the sweet spot of your life. So you must hold these days like treasure in a jewel box in your heart. It's the sweet spot of your life. You know well they are most precious. To an old tree you must carve them. This is the sweet spot of your life. May it only sting a moment when you die to love you. It's the sweet spot of your life. 'Cause by the time you hit the surface, it has rearranged you. This is the sweet spot of your life. Always wanted something solid, just one solid. Oh, but angels are so fickle. Only love you when you sing. You don't need those fickle angels to shine. This is the sweet spot of your life. Once you stood below a mountain, now you find yourself surprised. This is the sweet spot of your life. This new view compares to nothing on the hardships of your climb. This is the sweet spot of your life. May it only stay a moment when you dive into the blue. This is the sweet spot of your life. By the time you hit the surface, it has rearranged you. This is the sweet spot of your life. This is the sweet spot. This is the sweet spot. This is the sweet spot of your life. This is the sweet spot. This is the sweet spot. This is the sweet spot of your life. Well, this next song is actually kind of the opposite of that one. This next song I wrote in also the year 2002, more or less, and I was living in Philly at the time. I and I hadn't really figured out how to make a living, so I had a really tiring job. I was one of those tour guides that goes around on the trolley in downtown historic Philadelphia, which sounds kind of fun for a minute, but it got really repetitive. Like I would be on the trolley and be like, there's the Liberty Bell, there's Ben Franklin's house or whatever, and I thought I was gonna go crazy, and I paid like minimum wage. And at the same time, I was living in kind of like a not so great neighborhood, and we got like robbed, and I like had a relationship that fell through. And so I was really down that year. And I was at a festival that summer. I was walking around the campgrounds of the festival. There were fires, and people were singing around fires. But I was really downtrodden, and I was just hoping for things to get a little easier. So I made a wish on a shooting star for my life to improve a little. And then moments later, I realized that it wasn't even a shooting star, it was just a moth that flew by quickly and glowed in the fire. So I just wished on a moth, and I was kind of like, oh yeah, right, okay. That's the kind of year I'm having. So instead, I grabbed my guitar and I found a quiet corner of the festival, and I wrote this song. And this is a complaint song. It's called Girls. Born and raised in the South, in a suicide town. I was only 15, it burned to the ground. I tore up all my memories at the side of the road, with the tip of a needle. I carved my story in stone. When you gonna come for me, Lord? When you gonna come for me? 'Cause I've been expecting you forever, waiting here for you. Will you send a little reasons? The least that you could do, it's the least that you could do. It's not much of a poet, 'cause I was missing the anguish. Not a very good lover, never captured the language. I was an adequate painter, but it just left me tired. I did a stint as a hitman. In those days, at least I was fired. When you gonna come for me, Lord? When you gonna come for me? 'Cause I've been expecting you forever, waiting here for you. Will you send a little grace? The least that you can do is the least that you could do. Yeah. Hooked up the hip down in the church, took a walk down David Boulevard. With all the sand that gets inside this world, we should all be motherfucking girls. When you gonna come for me, Lord? When you gonna come for me? 'Cause I've been expecting you forever, waiting here for you. Will you send a little races? The least that you can do is the least that you could do. Never gonna be one of God's favorites, never gonna cheerlead with the angels. I tried to find a church that I could walk in, tried to nail me on original sin. Oh, when you gonna come for me, Lord? When you gonna come for me? 'Cause I've been expecting you forever, waiting here for you. Will you send a little grace? Least I can do, been expecting you forever, waiting here. Will you send a little grace? Send a little grace.
Send a little breeze, send a little breeze, send a little breeze.
I always feel the need to apologize for the curse word in that song. It's the only curse word I have in any of my songs, and it gave my first album an E, like an explicit warning, which made me feel a little bit cool. But to be totally honest, I usually dread when the curse word comes up, because I'm like, oh no, here it comes. I never am quite like at ease with the curse, and that's actually bad, because like cursing is a little bit like merging onto a highway. Like you really have to commit to it, or it doesn't work out. But I don't know. I think that is necessary for that line to work. So yeah, that song is like a little bit cool because of the curse word. But the thing that made me really proud of that song was that the line about I did a stint as a hitman in those days that I was inspired is purely figurative. It's pure metaphor. And when I usually play that line, people get that and they just sort of laugh a little bit. They giggle or whatever. But I played that song so my friend Ben works for, he volunteers in the medium security men's prisons down in Bridgewater, and I got to play that song for a group of male prisoners. And when I sang the line about having done a stint as a hitman, they erupted. They were like, ah! I was like, oh wow, this is not the kind of response I've ever gotten. And it was kind of fun and cool. I actually really like playing there. I hope to do it again. We were not able to go in during COVID, but it was actually one of my favorite concerts ever. But I'm gonna change gears now to a song about a crush I had, and he did not requite my crush, though. I had a crush on my best friend at the time, and he did not see me in that light, so it's okay, I'm over it. It was 20 years ago, and I've been playing this song ever since. And it's really funny because I've lost touch with the guy, but I recently saw him again after like 15 years of not seeing each other. We had coffee, and I almost told him that I wrote this song about him that I've been singing for 20 years. So then I was like, no, I think I'm not going to tell him that. So I did not. This is called Dandelion.
Harry met Sally was 7. Mary Jane would fall for Spider-Man. The story was set in stone like Tarzan and Jane, Yoko and John. You were like my Hollywood movie, butterfly when Central Park kissed. Of course you would pursue me, I was Julia Roberts. I mean, how could you resist? But I am the 4th of July, throwing you a fire in the sky. You could go blind my light. You were looking for an orchid. I will always be a dandelion. Dandelion. So I put on the best of my warhorse. Could have been your Marilyn Monroe, but you had only eyes for the Mona Lisa. You shared my cab ride all the way home. I am the 4th of July. you a fire in the sky. You could go blind night. You were looking for an orchid. I will always be dandelion. I am a middle class home. The only worn out bed. I'll never dance in Swan Lake. I'll never play the cello. I'm the northern lights. I am invisible. I am a dandelion. I am forever wild. I am the 4th of July. Throwing you a fire all the way across the sky. You could go blind in my life. You were looking for an orchid. I will always be. You were looking for a tea light. I will always be the firefly, dandelion, dandelion, dandelion.
Thank you so much. So I think I'm going to end the night with a Nina Simone song. And I want to thank you so much for being here. It's just delightful to be back in person. And this seems like a really great community, which you was having me to check it out myself as a if I edit the late, so pretty close. And thanks to John for having me and the other John for being support. And also Ian, who is the music director here. So yeah, I'm going to end on this song called Feeling Good.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new day, it's a new dawn, it's a new life for me, love. Feeling good. Fish in the sea, you know how I feel. River running free, you know how I feel. Blossoms on a tree, you know how I feel. It's a new day, it's a new dawn, it's a new life for me. It's a new day, it's a new dawn, it's a new life for me. Dragonflies out in the sun, you know. Butterflies all having fun, you know how I feel. Sleep in peace when day is done, that's what I mean. It's a new day, it's a new dawn, it's a new life for me. It's a a new dawn, it's a new life. It's a new day, it's a new dawn. I'm feeling stars when you shine, you know how to send out the fire, you know how to freedom. That's what I mean. It's a new day, it's a new dawn, it's a new life. It's a new day, it's a new dawn, it's a new life. It's a new day, it's a new dawn, it's a new life. It's a new day, it's a new dawn, it's a new life. A new day, a new dawn. I'm feeling good.
I find it too hard to come back for an encore because I don't really know this, but John maybe. So I think I'll do an upbeat song to send you home. This is actually my favorite song of mine. Funny enough, I did not like this song very much after I wrote it. I thought it was not that good and I never played it. But then in the year 2008, I got a phone call from Hill Holiday. It's an ad agency in Boston. And they had heard the song and they wanted to use it for a major ad campaign on television. So that happened and they ended up paying me a good amount of money. I was able to buy a new car. So then I decided that I liked the song. Like the only song of mine that ever pulled its weight. But it was interesting working with Hill Holiday and with the ad agency because the song has the word breasts appears in the song. And they were concerned about that. So it was the client was Bank of America. But they wanted to have an ad about all the feel-good things they do in the world and like charities and stuff. So my song was perfect for that. And they wanted, they only used the beginning of the song, but they wanted the whole song to be completely like clean. So the word breast was in the song. So they asked me politely would I rewrite the line of breasts. So I changed it to knockers. I'm kidding, I didn't really do that. I changed it to something benign, but I'm going to give you the uncensored version of that. So this is about the ups and downs of merry-go-round.
Someone is tossing petals in the stream somewhere. Someone is standing at the photos of their dreams. Someone got a paintbrush, painting over doubts. Someone opened up his eyes and saw the sun coming out. Someone was captured and found the courage to get out. There was water in the well, somewhere the rain had stopped. Someone is finding the place where they belong. Every day is summer, summer in the world, and the summer boys are headed for the fall to kiss the girls with their invitation hands, broken honey breasted girls. They are filled with desire. And high in the hills, the baby being born is forgiveness and peace. Wash over bruises and sores, people raising the distance over hills and fords. Everyone born on merry-go-round, some things will rise up, so that others come down. The devil don't dance, heaven won't shine, it's amazing haze. Faith and mind of the positive tightened up, love won't flow, the love isn't bright enough, the corn won't grow, the night isn't dark enough, the moon won't glow. Hey. Richmond counting money, retirement counting sheep, well, the same that counts as blessings. Hunger that is needing, there's a million people praying, raising up their eyes to what turns out to be the same God, the same sky, and we are slightly scared of death, a little bit afraid, so we celebrate everything we can think to celebrate. We shall sing out loud to keep the hounds away. Everyone born on a merry-go-round, some things will rise up, so that others come down. The devil don't dance, heaven won't shine, it's amazing haze. The critic and mind of the process tightened up, the love won't go, the love isn't bright enough, the corn won't grow, the night isn't dark enough, the moon won't hold. Prisons will crumble, governments will fall, it's the order of freedom to be preceded by walls. The truth will be worthless if no one ever lies, so we carry our shame in the interest of pride. And we have all these questions to make us go wrong, got all this distance to make us come home. As the sun burns, the child burns, the tide turns, as the world turns. Everyone born on a merry-go-round, some things will rise up so that others come down. If the devil don't dance, heaven won't shine, it's a mighty big haze. And it's a pretty thin line of the positive tightened up, the love won't flow, the love isn't bright enough, the corn won't grow, the night isn't dark enough, the moon won't glow.